ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Now let's look at the next verse in the first chapter. अर्जुन उवाच दृष्ट्वेमं स्वजनं कृष्ण युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितम् सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति. Arjuna is telling, Drishtveemam swajanam Krishna. I'm seeing all my own people. All are there standing to fight. Fight intent on killing each other. Okay, so the Pandavas want to kill the Kaurava army, and not only them, it is just not the Pandava and the Kauravas. Their allies are also there with them. So they all are, the intention is to kill each other. Okay, so that, they become victorious. Sidanti mama gatrani, seeing this, seeing my own people fighting and trying to kill each other, my limbs are trembling. My mouth is getting dried up, not even able to speak properly. I'm not able to stand properly. I am in total despair. So that is what Arjuna is telling. Now, looking at this, we'll see that, was Arjuna so very inexperienced in war? No. He had fought many wars, right? He participated in the Yudhishthira's Ashwamedha Yajna to fight, or, to make sure that, Yudhishthira is claimed the emperor. So, Samrat, right? So, all these things had happened. In fact, even just before their Ajnatavasam. So, Pandavas went into 12 years of exile and then 1 year of incognito. That is, they are not supposed to be revealing themselves. So, from the last 13 years, these people were preparing for the war. At the same time, here, Duryodhana was preparing for the war right from his birth, or right from the time he started to know, and he wanted to, he kind of disliked the Pandavas when they came back to Hastinapur. So from there on, it was like, a fight. So that was going on and on. So now it's like it's got into a stage where they are in the battlefield intent on killing each other. That's the way. So for Arjuna, it was not that he was never, he had never got the experience of war. He had fought many wars. So even when he was in the incognito, yeah, so he was there as the Virata kingdom, the princess dance teacher. He came in as that, and he came as a eunuch, Brihannala, right? So, and there also the Kauravas got a hint that, these people are hiding here. So they came and they went and attacked, because they knew that if they go and attack, these people are not going to hide and sit. So they will come out and we will be able to catch them. And then they will have to repeat the 12 years exile. So with that intention, Duryodhana goes and attacks the Virata kingdom. And that time also, Arjuna, though he was in the form of Brihannala, he still fought with the prince there. So the Uttara was the prince of the Virata kingdom, and he was not very strong guy. He was, though he was one of the prince over there, he didn't have the capability of a warrior. So Arjuna stands with him, fights this battle, and saves the Virata kingdom also. So he has done a couple of wars like this. So this is not the first time that he's coming into the battlefield. So then why was he so upset? Why was he with that, his legs are trembling? So what does that show? It shows nervousness, right? So say suppose we have to go in front of a stage and, talk for the first time, then our legs will start trembling. Maybe our mouth gets dried up. We're not able to speak. No words will come out. All those things will happen, right? But for Arjuna, it shouldn't have been, but still he is feeling that kind of a thing. So if you look at it, we can also relate to this sorrow and delusion of Arjuna, right? Sometimes we prepare well for the exam, we know what to write, we know what to I know how to study, how the points has to be written, everything we prepare and go, but you still have that nervousness within us that, whether will it be fine. So, you want to know the end result of it. Will everything come fine and all that? But that's a very small, small things that we have in our life, yet we feel that kind of a nervousness, right? But here, in this case, this war it's like do or die. Either you save you kill the other person, okay, and become victorious, or you die. So there are only two choices here. When whatever sorrows that we have, we don't come across that challenges where it is like do or a die situation. Though today this terminology of do or die is being used frequently, but we aren't. We probably are making a small problem look like a big one. But there, it was really a do or a die situation. Now, so either you win the war or you lose your life. Either you kill or you get killed. So there were only two choices in that particular war. So Arjuna was not afraid to die, but he was afraid of killing. So earlier you have seen that Duryodhana also was a little nervous. You remember the first verses where he goes to Dronacharya and he says, their army, they have so many warriors. And then he also talks about his warriors. So here Duryodhana also had the fear of getting killed. But here Arjuna was having the fear of killing another. So that was the difference over. Now let's look at the next verse, or in fact, we will see the next three verses and then we will go through the understanding of. Vepathushcha sharire me romaharshascha jayate gandivam samsrite hastat vapchaiva paridahyate न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुम् भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे. So let's look at all these three verses, the meaning of it together. So he says, Vepatushcha sharire me. My whole body is shuddering. My whole body is shivering, trembling. Roma harshascha jayate. My hairs and all are standing because of that nervousness. Okay. Gandivam samsrite hastat. The Gandivam, which was his pride, that the bow, which was like, wherever Arjuna was going, he had this Gandivam with him. Okay, that was his strength. That was his weapon. But that is also slipping away from my hand, he said. I'm not able to even hold that. My hands do not have the strength to hold that. It's just slipping away from my hand. Vakchaiva paridahyate. My skin is burning. I'm feeling as if like I'm on fire. Everywhere it's burning kind of a feeling that I am having. And this is from the body. And then he says, my mind is in contrary. It's whirling. It's so much of, tension I'm having and confusion. And I'm unable to hold myself. Sometimes like when we are too tensed, we say that our mind is not in our control. Yeah, we know that, this is there, but then our mind is not able to accept that. And we are unable to cope up with such a situation. So it's not steady. I'm not able to hold my mind in my control. So, oh Krishna, you're the killer of the Keshi demon. So here I'm seeing all omens of misfortune. So because what are the misfortunes? Body is not allowing, body is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. My mind is not in my control. So nothing is there in my control. And I see this as a bad omen. So because I will not be able to fight in this state of mind, so I'm definitely going to lose. Okay. Or with that, just by in this utter confusion, I don't know whom I'm going to even kill also. So both ways might be possible. So I kind of see it as a very bad omen. Okay, so and also personally, because it's all my own people, I only see bad things happening. There is nothing good that can come out of this war, is what Arjuna is telling. So let's go deeper to understand this now. The first chapter, it sets the tone for the entire Gita. Okay, so this is an introduction chapter, right? So this sets the tone. This sets the whole the whole journey of Gita. So now, this from the second chapter, it's more of Krishna. So to understand Krishna, first we have to understand Arjuna. It's like this now. If I go to a doctor, the doctor cannot be prescribing a universal thing for me. So that he needs to test me, he or she needs to look at me, test me, observe whatever are my symptoms, and or go give in for certain tests, and based on that, there is a medicine given. So the medicine which can be given to me need not be given to another person, or maybe with slight modifications, or maybe adding some living certain things. So it is on a case to case basis. Otherwise, we didn't have to go to a doctor. We could have had just one, a table kind of a thing. Okay, this disease, this particular medicine, all of us take that. We don't even need to go to a doctor. But that's not the case, right? So we go for each cases, we have to go specific. So it's important here to understand Arjuna, okay, as a patient. Yeah. So he has forgotten who he is. Why do we say that? Because there are at a place where he needs to act, that's where he's thinking. Where he should have thought, he did not think. So he's not his own self now. Okay, so he got into the battlefield as a soldier or as a warrior, but now he's turned into a son, a grandson, a student, uncle, all those things have been. He's no more a warrior now. He's no more a fighter now, but he is now with all the relationships. He's got entangled in all the relationships. So, only good thing that has happened out here is he's sharing these problems with Krishna. It's not that he's keeping it to himself and doing certain acts which would have been inappropriate. But here, the good thing is he's sharing all his discomfort, all his tension, anxiety, everything, he's sharing it with Krishna. Okay. So it's like, I don't know, I'm unprepared now. I feel that nothing is working for me. So this also shows, like, and he's like, I don't want to fight now. This is it. I don't see any good in it. So it is like, I don't want. So there is no proper reasoning to say that, he does not want to fight, or it's not a very logical reasoning. Like sometimes when children, they start giving a lot of unwanted excuses for probably not going to school or not going for studying. They come out with multiple excuses, and the mother or the parent will know that all this is, he's just trying to, the child is just trying to give some excuses. And as soon as the child starts giving these excuses, the parents get to know that the child is giving excuses, and that's not the real reason. There's something. So similarly here, as a parent or as a teacher, okay, Krishna understands what Arjuna is feeling. Okay, so he wants everything from Arjuna to come out first. So he just wants to as a child, let him rant out, let him tell everything that he has to tell, let him tell what all he's feeling, and then I will give him the necessary guidance, is what Krishna is also waiting for. Okay, so his Arjuna's nervousness, anxiety, confusion, it's, so see, it is, how it happens is sometimes, it's so very evident that whenever we are in tension, our mind is not in our control. Okay? Mind is disturbed. And as soon as the mind is disturbed, if you notice it, our physical body also starts to lose its strength. It is so interconnected, body and mind, that one goes down, the other also pulls it more down. Similarly, is when you are in great pain, the mind also will start to lose unless there is an external trigger or a very good internal motivation to pull it up. So the body and the mind really goes hand in hand, and it can either pull you fully down or both put together can lift you up also. Okay. So let's look at the next verses. Kankshe Vijayam Krishna Nacharajyam Sukhani cha Kinno Rajyena Govinda Kim Bhogai Jivitena va. येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगा सुखानि च त इमेव स्थिता युद्धे प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च. So here Arjuna is telling, I do not desire any victory. I do not want kingdom. I don't want any of these things, because what will I do with this kingdom, with all these pleasures, when the people whom I love the most are not with me? Okay. So here, the very thought of his relatives dying makes Arjuna display all the dispassion. The Vairagyam comes because of that. So it is only his anxiety which has made him talk like a peace-loving person or a righteous person. It's not that he was not righteous, but here, in this particular case, he is not really doing what he needs to be doing. That's what it is now. So he says, I will not fight, he says. He already has made up his mind that I'm not going to fight. Now he's trying to give all the justifications around it to support that base statement that he has. Okay. So had he told this out of real dispassion, real vairagyam that he does not want, then two things we would have noticed. One, he would have told that before itself, or even if he has taken the decision now, he will not be in a confused state. He will be in a state of happiness and says, I don't want it. So it is like this. Now, when I have to give it with difficulty, then I'm not happy. And I can see that. But here, so Krishna was able to see that Arjuna was doing all these things not out of that inner happiness that he has. He wanted it, but at the same time, he does not want to let go of he doesn't want any of his relatives dying also. So this is not coming out of dispassion, or it is not coming out of vairagya. Instead, it is coming out of an attachment, the emotional attachment that he has. It is because of that he is feeling this disillusion, confusion, all this thing, and the justification. There was no need of he justifying anything if it has really come from within. If he was so matured, or he was able to understand the true dispassion. But that was not what was happening. Acharya pitarah putra tathaiva cha pitamaha matula swashura pautraha shyala sambandhinas tatha. Let's look at the next one also. Etannahantumichhami घ्नोतोऽपि मधुसूदना अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतोः किन्नु महीकृते. So, telling all these acharyas, pitamahaha, swashuraha, so acharya teachers, pitamahaha, grandfather, Shvashura, father-in-law. So there's so many teachers, fathers, sons, nephews, everybody are there in this. So they're all my people. I'm related to them. And if I kill them, okay, what satisfaction will I get from this earth? What do I do in this thing? I will be with such a guilty consciously, I will have to be living through. And I don't want to, what example am I setting? Okay, is this the way that I want to be known as? Of kill of Arjuna, who has slayed all his people. Is that how everybody should be looking at me? No, I don't want to. What is the satisfaction that I will get from this particular activity? I am not going to do this. This is what he again repeats in many different ways. Nihatya dharta rashtrannah ka preetasya janardana papamevashrayedasman hatvaitana tatainaha. Let's look at the next one also. Tasmannarha vayam hantun dhartarashtraन् swabandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukhinasya madhava. So again, he is talking in many different ways. So like how a child, for not going to the school, he comes out with many different reasons, all childish reasons. Like how, and then how he gets caught because he's not able to really associate everything also. So similarly here, Arjuna is also trying to give different reasons. And he's saying that what pleasure will I get? How will I face this earth? I will be so guilty. What will I do? What will people think about me? How will I be remembered? What pleasure will I get from killing my own people? Okay. So he's like, I know they are all very aggressors. They have probably done a lot of bad things to us. I understand that. Okay. But if I still, even in spite of it, if I do something to them, I'm going to be sin. I will be incurring all those wrath. I will be incurring a lot of sin because of this. So I do not want to kill my own cousins. They are my people. So Madhava is asking, he's really begging him and he's like saying, how can we, how can we hope to be happy if we kill our own people? Hmm? They're all my people, and if I kill them and I may be getting the entire wealth, I might be getting the palace and every luxury that I can get. But what use is that if my own people are not there with me? That is not possible from my end. I am not going to fight the war. So he's again repeating it again and again. यद्यप्येतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम् कथन्न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान्निवर्तितुम् कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दना. So again, Arjuna is telling that their thoughts, the Kaurava side, their thoughts are overpowered by greed. Okay, they want everything. Okay, and they don't see any wrong in killing, in annihilating their own relatives. Okay, so but we, Janardana, we are not like that, no? Okay, we need to really see it very clearly, and we need to see that okay, killing our own people is not going to give us any happiness. That much maturity we should have. No, he's asking Janardana, please tell. Okay, how can we move away from it? So it's like now as if like Arjuna is giving a dharma discourse to Arjuna. Sorry, to Krishna. He's telling what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing. The entire value system Arjuna is trying to preach to Krishna. He's telling, see, if there is a set of people who are all drinking, and there's one sober guy who is not drunk. It is now that person's responsibility to make sure that all his friends who are drinking is safely taken back home, because he's the one who is the matured guy. He did not, consume alcohol. So now it's his responsibility. So similarly, the one who is wise, the one who understands the value system, the one who understands the love of the relatives, that person should be matured enough, to behave responsibly. He cannot be just be in the same way like the others. Then what is the difference? Says that. So in the society also, it is the wise person, it is the wise man who needs to lead. Okay, and saying that I am now the wise person, and I need to be giving them a lesson. I need to tell them that this is the way to live. He's telling all this talks to whom? To the Lord himself, Janardana. He's the Lord of all, right? And to him only he is giving all this dharma discourse. So he says that, their thoughts, their selfish ways, all that is doing all these things. But we are not like that. It is, we have a far-sighted vision. See, when if at all we kill and then we get all this kingdom also, we will not be able to live happily. That far-sighted vision, I'm able to get it. And because of that, I'm trying to say that I don't want this war. Okay, so it is I am behaving responsibly. Now he's trying to bring it in that manner. So when we see it, yes, his arguments are really valid, but it is a misplaced argument. Why? Because every action or every thinking also has to be done at the right time. Okay, so right things, right action at the right time is very important. Okay, so they now, as of now, Arjuna's thoughts are not arising from a right mindset. It's from a confused mindset. He's not giving a holistic thought to it. Okay. He's really not analyzed the war. He's only looked at it from an emotional point of view. Okay. So he says, I don't, and then he also says, I don't want sukha. This war is not going to give me sukha or punya, but it is going to give me papa. It is going to incur sin. And Duryodhana is not matured, so he wanted war. But I am a matured person, or we as matured people. So he's also including Krishna. It's like, we all are very matured, so let us not fight. He wants that, yes, Arjuna, you're taking the right decision. That kind of a, attention seeking Arjuna is trying to do with Krishna. Like again, like small children. Okay. So, and then he also goes into starting to explain the consequences of war. He says that war only causes destruction. Kulakshaya. Kulakshaya means all the, this war can wipe out all the able people, yeah, earning men in the family. So it can wipe out. So what will happen? It's not just the physical loss of a person, okay, for the family. It's also a psychological loss. It's a financial loss. It's an emotional loss. So there are so many. It's not just, okay, just because one person is not there, maybe as a person, we might miss him, and for the rest of the things, it's all fine. No. Okay, so it's not like that. There is a this one is trying to analyze it fully and in a very holistic way, and he's saying that there is a total loss which can happen. The trauma what it leaves behind is also indescribable. It is very painful. So, and it will, where these conflicts will have a deep scar. Imagine the children, the family members, for them it will be an unbearable loss. It will have deep scars within them, and destroying that is, so we need to make sure that we should not be doing all these things. Okay, and it destroys the unity of this whole family, of the whole kingdom, and unity is our strength. So we cannot be playing with all this kind of things. Peace is the only option, and that is the best priority that can happen. This is what Arjuna is telling Krishna. Look at the next one. Kulakshaye pranashyanti Kuladharma sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharmo bhibhavatyuta. So he says that when a dynasty is destroyed, so he's telling more about the loss that when the kulakshaye, and that particular lineage itself will get destroyed, then what all can happen? Its traditions will get vanquished. The entire, so it's, the whatever tradition that they have been bringing up with lineage after lineage, that also will get destroyed. Okay, so there is a lot of loss which is happening here. So he's talking about now about our culture, about our tradition. He's saying that now a family culture, values, rules, discipline, all are there integrated in a family, isn't it? Yeah. So like how we, there are a set of value system that as in a family we bring out with, right? And we also try to pass this on to our children normally, isn't it? So, and that gives that family an identity. Yeah. So Arjuna is telling it very, very logically, really very logic and very rational kind of thought that, that family, this family values, each family values that they have and that which they pass it on lineage after lineage, that is their identity, that is their tradition, that is their kula dharma. Okay, so children, how they pay their respects to the elders, by prostrating before them. Then the families pray together, dine together, talk with each other, be there for each other whenever there is any difficulty. Okay, then going to temples together, praying to the family deity together. So these are all which gets inherited or it gets adopted by one generation after generation, right? There are certain festivals that there are certain rituals which needs to be done with all the family members put together, and celebrating festivals together, understanding the importance of those, understanding how the elders behave in the family, understand how the children behave in the family. All that is what makes it as a very strong family, right? So all these things, now if this, the head of the family is, is not there, so if that destroys the whole family, so how can family values survive then? There's nobody who is there to teach children then. Okay, so nothing, whatever was passed on, it just gets broken there, and there's nobody who will be there to pass it on to the next generation. So, where the values will be adopted then? No, there won't be values, there won't be any traditions, there is no Kula Dharma. It doesn't, it will completely get vanquished away. So, a person is proud of his family and lineage, he maintains a very high standard of behavior. So the when the skula dharma is not there, yeah, when it doesn't get passed on, okay, people, the children can start behaving in a very inappropriate manner with no family values. They can also go and be into they might lead their life in an unrighteous manner. Okay, so this chaos and confusion of war can increase the exploitation of the helpless also, because because you don't have proper values. Okay, so you really maybe like cheating somebody, maybe killing somebody for certain benefits that you would want to. So it will be like the strong person will prevail or the wicked person will prevail. So the entire society will also get the ill effects of this war, is what Arjuna is trying to. अधर्माभिभवात् कृष्ण प्रदुष्यन्ति कुलस्त्रियः स्त्रीषु दुष्टासु वार्ष्णेय जायते वर्णसङ्करः. So here he's now talking about, so the earlier verse he was talking about how the children can get affected. Now he's talking about the woman of the society. So he says that pradushyanti kulastriyaha. So increase in unrighteousness can become very unsafe for women. So the standard of life of a society, it's measured by the safety and well-being of women. Why? Because they are the ones who holds that family together. Yeah. So they make sure that they know the children are brought up in a proper way. Everything is managed by the lady of the house. So she's the one who is the pillar of the house. So if she is not safe, how can the society be safe? Okay, so it's like a chain reaction. The children are getting affected, and they might lead to they might start doing things which are not appropriate for the society, and they might harm the woman, and then again, so woman's life. So then the way they will bring up their children, again, it will be bad. So it's more like a chain reaction which can happen. He says that with no one to protect these ladies, they they will be abused. Okay. And certain times, because of there because of certain difficulties that they will have, because of there won't be any choices for them to help run the family, they might also go into ways which they shouldn't have been going to. So out of compulsion, out of without any choice that they have, they also might lead a not so good life, or they might also go into certain ways which may not be appropriate for the health of the entire society. So it says that according to Manusmriti, yatra naryastu pujyante ramante tatra devataha. Manusmriti tells that societies where women are worshipped, okay, for their caste, their celestial gods are joys. So that means that it's not that, okay, somewhere up the gods are, very happy looking at the chastity of a woman. No, what it says is that it brings in a kind of like, looking at the safety of where women are worshipped, women are respected. So if women are respected, they will not be abused. If they are not abused, the children born out of them and the way they will look after the children will be good. And those children will be better citizens of the nation or of the kingdom, and they will have a very prosperous kingdom again. So it's like, so if there is a prosperity, what it is? Everybody are in a joyful state. So look at it that way. So this is what will happen. Varna Sankaraha means there can be a total chaos. Okay, so earlier the parents were the first teachers of the children. So now with no father there, and the traditional occupation, there is nobody to guide the children, and then children born of different genes, okay, they're not able to cope up with the occupation or with the skill sets that they need to be requiring, or they need to be learning. So then it's a total chaos, because varnas were not based on a caste system. Means varnas do talk about caste, but it is not talking about the hierarchy of it or discrimination point of view, but it was more like there was a traditional occupation which was given from the father, passed on to the children, and then when they become parents, they pass it on. So it was more like a family tradition. Now, with different people, the children born out of them will lead to a lot of confusion, even in the occupation that they need to be looking at, the skills that they will be having, the skills that they will be getting, which gets passed on as a lineage. All that will get broken. That is what it means here. So when a woman falls, the entire moral fabric of the house is broken. Okay? And with more homes breaking up, children are brought up by single parents or foster parents or with foster siblings. So there will be a lot of chaos, lot of confusion. So the family culture, values, tradition, everything is going to get destroyed.